Welcome back to the channel, pilots. Today is something a little bit different from me, inspired by Gavin McClurg and his cloud-based mayhem. The one thing I've taken away from that excellent podcast is that it is very much geared towards the top-tier elite athletes and very well-accomplished pilots that have been in the game for a long time. I have also questioned at the same time how relevant that is to the regular pilot today. It's great inspiration. It's great information. I've always thought that there could be a little bit more value in conversations with regular pilots, from the varied backgrounds to their individual experiences. And today, to start off this podcast, I'm speaking to a friend of mine that I've known for 5 years. He's flown all the places I've flown, if not some more places, including Annecy, Italy, places that I've never been. But he's also had an accident that I witnessed at the time. He's broken his back. He was hospitalised, but he has recovered and is still flying today. I think his story is one worth sharing for other regular pilots to understand similarities that we all have, backgrounds we come from, experiences we're going to have, and hopefully the experiences we are not going to have. With that said, I apologise now. The video footage itself wasn't actually watchable. We recorded this in a room that had LED lights, so the flickering was insane. There's no way I want to put anyone through that. The room was also quite large and echoey, so apologies again for the sound quality. But the conversation we had, I believe, had enough value to try and do something with it anyway. So this podcast style video isn't actually going to be a video, but it's something you can put on the background, listen to the conversation we had, maybe draw some similarities in your own experiences. There might also be points that you want to bring up. Please put those in the comments. Without further ado, I hope you enjoy this. This is the Regular Pilot Podcast, Episode 1.
My name's Andy. I've been flying now. Started 5 years ago with paragliders. Started 20 odd years ago with paragliders for a short time. Got CP on it, but stopped doing that. 6 weeks becomes 6 months, becomes 6 years, becomes forget all about it. It's all gone. And now I've got tempted into paragliding, and it became very addictive very quickly, ridiculous.
Where did you do all your training?
I did first week with the EP down in Albert Isles, fly Spain.
Out there, yeah.
And then come back and done the rest on the Isle of Wight with pad. Yeah, I've done my CP there. Progressed on, and got me full pilots and away. That was it.
So how many hours was it before you went to Tenerife?
Well, with the ribbon. I had the ribbon on.
We both had the ribbon on.
Yeah, I warned that it's so dangerous you don't really want to go, but that's how I met you, wasn't it? So
yeah. So I was post CP 8 hours. Actually, less than 8 hours. I got 8 hours after I'd finished.
I think I was on about 5 hours, if that.
I think all of mine were butts of hill, top to bottoms.
Yeah, I think I had a longer one at Whitehall. That's what put my hours up, I think, if I remember rightly. And a couple of longer ones down on the Isle of Wight, obviously. So.
Okay, so you were, say, 5 hours before Tenerife. What did you think of Tenerife the first time you went? Did it stand up to all the threatening behaviours that you might get when you're there, the dangerous landings and everything else?
First flight, I was all excited, and it went well. Landed in the what's called the Panda landing. First flight, I thought that's okay. Second flight, nearly died. I thought I was going to die. I've never been in such turbulent conditions, and I wanted to land. I'll be honest. That's how that one started. Yeah. After that, loved it. It just went smoother and smoother as the time went on, and there's cactus, there's rocks, there's power lines, there's everything, the sea, the whole lot. But it's good practice. You're training to land where you want to land. That's the difference. and you can see you've got all these problems, but then it works out, yeah, this is right, I'm happy with this, and that's why I kept going back.
So when you started, you were actually looking at contingency of the closest landing field being your aim. Is that how you done it, or were you just seeing how far you got?
For that first flight,
Yeah.
I just wanted to take off, and I must admit, I didn't think I was going to get about 5 hours. I thought I was going to go halfway around the island. I thought it was all going to be amazing, and yeah, that's what I thought. I didn't realise it'd be just down the bottom of the mountain, but there you go.
I think it is what you make it. You can stay up for hours on end.
You can,
but you're on holiday. Why smash them out? I was the same. Got into it. Obviously, went on the same holiday with you, and it's like, oh, we're going to get loads of hours each day. And it didn't work
we said
out
that in the car on the way up there. We were going to smash out the hours.
Yeah, but it didn't work out
from day one.
But it wasn't disappointing at the same time, because you were getting that experience of the flights, the planning your landings, playing around with thermals, and then relaxing in between flights, go to the beach if you can make it. I didn't make it the first time. Have a beer, chat about it, and then go again. And even 5 years now, 5 years later, that is what we do. We go out, we fly, we can play with thermals, we can talk about where we're landing. Admittedly, now the difference is we generally get to exactly where we said we were going to get to.
Exactly, yeah.
And we know we can play for a couple of hours if we want to, but we're on holiday, we're chilling out.
Yeah, you can stay for ages, you can. Yeah. I mean, but there's a nice bar down the beach, and sit there and you meet up with everyone else, and you know you're going to fly again in the afternoon. Yeah. What more do you want? You know.
So, post-CP, 5 hours, done Tenerife, first time, red ribbon. How was your progress after that? Where did you go from there?
Right.
What were your aims before you realised what was actually going to be reality?
My aims, I wanted to get into doing a little bit of the cross-country side, and I had the opportunity, went over to Italy with Fly Tally. That was only because I was seeing a friend out there, and booked a few days with him. Fantastic sights, beautiful, absolutely rolling hills. Oh, and you just take off. You'll hit cloud base in no time. You fly around all day and land down at the bottom. Oh, it's beautiful, absolutely stunning place, and the food is unbelievable as well. So thoroughly enjoyed that, and then come back to England, and we had the weather and everything else. And not quite the same, but it was a bit more hard work. But yeah, just wanted to progress along there, you know.
So have you had any outlined goals? 50k, 100k, any of those, or competitions?
I started off. I was looking, thinking, yes, I would like to get a 50k, and then I'd be looking maybe going on to 100k, maybe. But there again, sometimes I don't know what other people are like, but after a couple of hours, you could get quite bored. I'm not being funny, unless something drastically brilliant's going to happen. I've reached my level. I think about 2 hours is comfortable for me. After 2 hours, I'm like, okay, fair enough.
I think I'm about the same, around about the 3.5 hour mark.
Well,
I think it's more mental rather than
if you can do 4 hours at being on shore, you can do anything.
4 hours at being on shore doesn't count.
I've done 2 now, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah. No, I just wanted to get up there and just sit under the clouds, knowing that I can progress further and land where I want to land.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted, and then just
so
pack up and happy as that.
You started on a BGD Adam.
But that wasn't a very good one.
It wasn't
Even
very good.
I liked it. It was good as gold. I liked the colours, but it was a team.
And then you moved on to.
I went on to an Epic.
Yeah.
Had that for probably about 3 months, 4 months. I think it wasn't that long because I went straight. But then I wanted to move up, and I wanted to punk. Always wanted to punk from when it was around.
So rather than the colours or it being from a low V to a high V, what was it you were expecting from going up to the high V?
I knew it was going to be faster. I knew it was going to have better control, because I've been on the low Bs, you pull down,
it's a bit of a duvet.
And nothing really happens, and it's like you put the speed bar on and just go straight down. So I wanted a bit more performance, And I got that straight away, I must admit, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. But it's really good.
It's the same as my experience. I went from BGD Epic first week.
Yeah.
And I think I was on that for, as you say, about a few months, if that, before I went onto the BGD base. I wanted to get to the high B to get away from the speed bar issue.
Yeah.
So my first cross country was from Harting, I went with RJ, and it's good enough, so I went over back.
Yeah.
Now every time you hit sync, you want to use the speed bar to get out of sync.
Yeah.
And the low Bs, I don't know if this is all of them, but I know with the Epic for myself, is that on bar you just go down faster. Yeah. There's very little change in your speed, so you weren't getting out of the sync faster, you were helping it hammer you into the ground.
Yeah.
So that was the main thing. Yes, a better glide would be good. Into wind, obviously you want that to be better if you can, but generally our cross countries are mostly downwind at our stage. So yeah, it was that horrendous speed bar. That was just a down button. That's what I didn't know.
Everyone said use your speed bar, so I did, and I just went straight down.
Yeah.
And it was like, maybe.
So you changed up to the B plus, the high B.
Yeah.
For the same reason I did. It's just that one thing that was niggling. It felt like it was always going to get in the way.
And everything seemed great, and thoroughly enjoyed it. And I've still got a punk now, so yeah, I'm happy with that.
So from the punk, how many hours did you get on the high B? I mean, I know you're now flying on now as your winter hack.
Yeah, I probably got up to about 100 hours, I think, roundabout. And I thought, do you know what? I had the opportunity to try out a Lynx, which is a C-wing, lightweight C-wing, and I thought, do you know what? I'll have a look. Bit nervous, but I thought, well, let's see how it looks. And flew it a couple of times, and it was great. I loved it. I thought, this is brilliant. This has got a performance. It is fast. It is bloody fast. I'm not going to muck about. Notice how it was coming into land, swooped down. It was nice. Yeah, I quite enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And
we've always flown in sites that have been relatively easy to fly. We've not been, we've been in some gnarly conditions, but nothing really gnarly. No,
a little bit bumpy at times. There's nothing.
No big tucks, no nothing.
Along the coast and some coastal runs, and no, it's fine.
And at that point, you went from the high B up to the Lynx, and you felt absolutely happy with it.
Yeah.
The places we're flying were well known.
And I thought this is progressing well, and I was thinking, I'm going to do some more BCC. I fancied the competition, that sort of competition. Not too heavy, but
the friendly, chilled out team out.
Enjoyed that. So, which I've done 2 or 3 of them now, and it was all going well. I was really happy with it.
Yeah. So you're happy with it? You're confident enough? Yeah. So tell us the day. Build up to the day. Where were you going?
I went over to the Isle of Wight. And we went to a place called Chillerton, I don't remember.
Yeah.
And wind was a bit off, as usual. Wanted to get above the aerial, as all the time. Been trying to do that since we got
out of measurement. Yeah.
And I got the right wing and everything else. And I started doing a few little boating along, just landing, take off, back again. Little bit of ridge sawing, but nothing major. It was a bit awkward. And then, do you want me to go on to it?
Walk us through the day.
So we're there, it seems nice. You took off. Chris took off. The person I pulled the wing off. And the Lynx. And they're flying along, and I'm behind them. And I could see you going along, and you went left. Obviously, we all know you should be going left, but they went down. You went down, and I thought, nah, there's no way I'm going to get this, because I can see where the lift is, and you fell out of it. You both fell out of it, from what I could see. So I went into it, got into the lift, decided, I'm going to turn to my right, which is towards the hill.
So brain
fart. But I was going up, which was good. It started bleeping nicely, and as I started to turn, it came straight out of it and went just as fast down. I am now heading towards the side of the hill, pretty damn quick.
Massive cables in front of you?
Everything's in front of me. So I pulled down too hard on with my right hand. I know I did, and it just spun me round. The next thing I know, it was I've got to lay on my back. I've got to let it take my back. I thought I'm going to break my legs at least if I go straight on my feet. So I thought if I just lay back and try and take most of the impact. So I know it's going to hurt. Yeah, it did hurt. Yeah, took the wind out of me a little bit.
Yeah.
Couldn't breathe. But
so from that point, my point of view, I remember you being below me.
yeah.
I remember finding a bit of lift. Chris was just behind me at the time.
Yeah.
I saw you fly underneath.
Yeah.
And I went to turn. And I initially thought you'd gone and landed. Because in the time it took me to do a 180 turn, you were on the ground, the kite was on the ground. I was like, oh,
it's about 30 foot. It's about 30 foot.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, it's when as I saw you thinking that you'd landed, thinking it was a little bit strange. Then I saw people running down the hill towards you.
Yeah.
That's when it clicked. And it took split seconds from, oh, what's he landed for? And then realising what's happening.
Yeah.
So that at that point for me was, right, I need to get on the ground, make sure you're okay, everyone else has run down to you. By that time, you just impacted and probably bounced a bit.
I hit the ground, couldn't breathe, and I just wiggled my toes. I thought I've got to wiggle my toes with my fingers and everything, but I just thought I'm not going to move. I thought if I move, that could be a problem. So I just thought I'll stay exactly as I am. And then everyone else started coming over. So yeah, no jump.
Yeah, imagine.
And
so then everyone was down with you. We had someone on the phone calling up the emergency services.
it all went well. It seemed very well organised. From where I was anyway.
Yeah, so I remember we were trying to get you out of the harness.
Yeah.
And as everyone would be, we were insisting, do not cut anything if you can get us wiggled out. And we managed to wiggle you out without too much issue. But before we managed to get you out fully, the paramedics were there.
Yeah, I never got cut out of anything. I never lost anything, so that was brilliant.
We know the important part is that you had come out of it in one piece, but you were also you were much there. You weren't conscious or anything else like that, so you're very much, I want to keep my gear.
Yeah,
and I think everyone was
even the paramedics were fine about it. They could understand it as well.
Yeah, they helped us out.
It's a few grand's worth of kit. They'd be, oh, okay. But,
so you were expecting a helicopter ride because the helicopter turned up.
The helicopter turned up. We had an ambulance turn up at the top of the hill, and we're still in COVID, you see. So and I never got a chance to get me lift above the aerial from the helicopter and take me back to the mainland. So
you got stuck
I got carried up the hill through the barbed wire fence.
Yeah.
When you've got feet my size, you don't try and get through barbed wire fences. Don't really work. It's a little bit tight. But they got me through and ended up in the ambulance and just went to Isle of Wight Hospital.
And you were stuck there on your back for how long? Having broken what?
I broke T12, which is thoracic spine. They said I shattered it basically. They said, I was very lucky. A slight twist to the side, I could have been paralysed. So it was a bit of touch and go, that one. So they kept me strapped down to the bed, filled me full of morphine, which did help, but you can still feed it.
No, I can imagine.
And then spent 5 days flat on my, 4 days flat on my back, staring at the ceiling tile. And that's it.
Yeah.
So trying to drink out of a straw, not allowed to move, you're not allowed to do anything. So it's not the best.
No, I can imagine.
And then they took me out of there, put me into a ward. So my own room to start with was great. Telly at the side, but you couldn't see it because I couldn't. It was just a bit of a tease. Yeah.
So you just have to listen to the reruns.
That's actually what I was on, and it was.
So how long did you spend in hospital before you come back to the mainland?
I last in hospital, I think it was 7 days, 6 days, I think, if I remember rightly. Yeah.
And how long until you were walking properly?
Once on the last day, they said, okay, we're not going to operate, we're not going to strap you up, we're not going to do anything. you should be okay. Take it easy. And I walked out with a stick, crutches, I should say. Walked out with some crutches. Got a lift to the hovercraft. Got on the hovercraft. That was very bouncy. I didn't actually have a stick then. They only gave me crutches to the car. Didn't I have to give them back, if I remember rightly. And then an old lady gave me a walking stick to get out of the hovercraft. And I got back and my wife picked me up and got me home and got some crutches and I laid down for a day and then started manoeuvring around because I just wanted to get back up again. Just couldn't stand it.
Right, so in fairness, you're extremely lucky.
I was
To have had that accident, to have broken your back, to be in hospital, to within 2 weeks walking again.
Oh yeah, I was walking within 2 weeks, yeah.
So after all that, after the realisation of I've spun this, I'm going down, hitting the ground, bouncing, winded, broken back, hospital. When was the first time you thought to yourself that you wanted to get back in the air? Did you at any point decide that you didn't want to do it again?
No. In hospital, I wanted to get back out. I was looking out the window. Once I got moved to the ward, I could see outside. I could see Chillerton Hill. I know it sounds crazy, but I just liked it.
Have you flown at Chillerton since?
No.
You haven't?
No. Been there, but there was nothing happening at the time.
Okay, so from the accident, how long before you were airborne again?
That happened on, I think it was May Day. It was 1st of May, I think it was, or the end of May, was it? I can't remember. It was one of the bank holidays it was, and I had booked a trip out to Tenerife in October, and that was my goal, to be able to go there. Okay, so I couldn't do anything before then. I was like warned, doctors saying don't do this, don't do that, as they would, because they care, obviously. But I was trying to get back up, but I missed the whole summer season, which was a bit disappointing. And then I got the ticket to go to Tenerife. I got there, arrived, nervous, wasn't sure what I was thinking actually. I was like, oh, should I do this? Do I really want to do this? I thought, I've got to drive up and have a look. So we went to Ilfranchi, which I think is 3,500 feet, if I remember rightly. It's about 3,000 something.
Honestly, I'm not sure. Never looked into it.
I think it's about something like that, no way.
I only know Zana's just below 7,000 as you take off.
Yeah, but this is about 3,500. And got there, Henry, booked with Power 42, and Henry, good as gold. Had a chat with him on the way up. He said, look, you don't have to. He said, look, you can come down with me, it's absolutely fine. No pressure. And I'm looking and the people are setting up and I think, it's a nice flight, I've done this one. I quite like this one. And I thought, you know what, I'm gonna have a look. It's either going to make it or break. You're going to love it or I'm going to hate it, that's it. And I'll decide whether I'm going to carry on or I'm just going to pack it in.
What a place to decide.
The thing was, okay, I fluffed up my launch a couple of times, but that was just nerves.
Yeah.
Normally happens in Ilfranchi anyway on the first flight there again. But got the wing above my head and then ran off and floated along, got myself in the harness. I thought, it's not too bad. Got to the house thermal, took it up to 5,000. Had a fly around. I thought, right, okay, I've done what I need to do now. I'll head to the beach. Well, I stayed at 5,000 feet. By the time I got to the beach, I was still at 3.5.
Beautiful day.
Now, what do I do now? So I just backwards and forwards, along the seafront, backwards and forwards. I landed. As I landed, big round of applause.
They
seemed to know I was coming. And they said, really good. And I thought, that was, wow. that was something else.
That was the best way it could happen.
I think if I'd been doing the odd top to bottom and a bit of rough landings, I'd probably think, well, maybe it's not that good anymore, you know. But that kicked me off, and then went straight back up straight after lunch, done the same again, but stayed up a bit longer. You know, I didn't rush down to the beach. I was quite happy, you know. So yeah, it was good.
Good.
And then as the week went on, it just got better and better. Still nervous. Never take that away.
I personally think a bit of nerves is a good thing. I don't think you should ever go into a sport like this completely relaxed and not paying attention.
Well, that's what I did that day. I was getting a bit cocky. I thought I was invincible, basically. You know, oh yeah, I've got this seat wing, I can do this and I can do that. But you don't realise until you start pulling it. You know, it's not an A wing. It's not a low or
nowhere near as big.
It's going to go, and when it goes, it goes. Maybe I might have been alright if it was 100 foot, or it might kill me.
Yeah, I think one of the other issues is that it was a low level collapse.
Yeah.
In fact, is it collapse? It's a spin, isn't it? One side of the wing stopped flying.
Yeah.
So the other one tried to overtake it.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, because it was low level, there was no chance of throwing anything. You didn't have the time to say it's 30 feet.
No.
So all you can do is ponder there's a mistake going on there.
It was, I had to think, this is going to work, but I should be okay. I should be okay.
Thankfully you were.
Yes,
There's nothing worse, and I say from my point of view, which sounds a bit selfish, than having to pick up really good money. I mean, you've been flying, what, 3 years by that point?
Yeah.
Yeah. And even I had confidence in knowing that you could do what you were doing because of the conditions that we were choosing to fly in. We weren't going in gnarly conditions, and it was Chillerton. We've flown there loads of times.
Yeah.
We've never got above the mast, admittedly. We've always been unlucky to do that. But there was nothing worse than that realisation, suddenly realising he's not getting up. And that was horrible. But when I got down there and found you were still talking, I was like, thank fuck for that.
Yeah, it makes you can appreciate what you got, and you've got to think to yourself, come on, don't be so stupid. You know what you're doing. Don't, we're not lucky enough to be in the Alps where we can take off at 7,000, 8,000 feet, fly around, and if we have a little collapse, it will come out.
Fingers crossed, yeah, with enough time.
With a bit of time, thinking about it, you're probably okay, and that's where you're probably SIVs come in handy. An SIV wouldn't have out there at that time.
Too late.
It was
maybe it would have helped in a way that you would have spun the glider beforehand in a controlled conditions. You would have recognised how far you could go.
Too late. I had about a second. It was that I was on the deck. Yeah. I'd literally had time to go. This is going to work. That's it, and that was a lot.
Yeah.
By the time even if I thought about pulling my reserve, that was too low, way too low.
Yeah.
Or try and correct it.
So you've had this accident.
Yep.
You've managed to get yourself airborne again.
Yeah.
You're absolutely loving it again.
Yes.
Are you having to deal with a bad back anymore? Does it play any up anymore? Have you managed to make 100% recovery?
From my back point of view, it's actually made it better than what it was before, actually. The daft thing is, because I had a problem with my back from years ago.
If only I could be so lucky. Unlucky.
And it seemed to have corrected it, and the surgeons, I've had
You need a chiropractor.
I've had all the checks and everything, nothing untoward, so yeah, it's good.
Okay, so you've managed to deal with all that. What decisions did you make after the accident as to conditions that you fly in, places you're flying, what you're flying? Anything changed?
Yeah, I'll look, if I feel uncomfortable, I won't fly. I'll just look at it and go, no, I'm not going to. It's too windy, or it's too much of a crosswind. But there again, I say that, but I went down to Annecy and everyone's taking off, and it was a forward launch at Annecy, one of their takeoffs, and the wind's coming down the hill, and it's like, you just gotta run, and it was like, and I kept aborting.
Yeah.
But it did make me abort. I must admit, I could have carried on. I might have cleared the trees, but I'm quite heavy. My wing, I thought, no, it's I'll abort it.
Yeah.
But I went down. And I got lift in the end, so it was.
So Mount Caburn, same week.
Yeah.
someone else is walking up with their phone in their hands, and they managed to catch on camera a guy falling out of the sky, having stalled the wing, and then just sort of held it in the stall. I'm not sure the absolute details of it, but I remember just seeing him flutter down to the ground, bounce off it. The guy runs over to him, and he stands up and walks away, thankfully. What got me is it's almost like the links were jinxed at that point, because you just had a spin on the links, and then we saw another one collapse.
I've still got it, and I've flown it since down at Meon Shore. That's it. I've just flown it along coastal, and also like Allen Bay on the island.
Yeah, another coastal site. Beautiful
It's
site.
coastal site, but it flies great.
Yeah.
It does fly. I've got no. It's not the wing. It was what I did at the end of the day. I know it was. The wing will fly.
Yeah.
But I put the wrong input in, and shit happens on that one.
You're brain fast. I've spun an acro wing into the ground. Luckily, I was 1 inch and basically just sat down and rolled backwards.
Yeah.
So I was extremely lucky. And again, straight afterwards, you can look at the whole thing in your head and go, I know what went wrong. Me.
It is.
The wings aren't likely to do something you didn't tell them to do.
No. You start bell winging, you can have a problem, especially higher.
Yeah. Generally, I think if wings aren't doing what you're asked to do, there's something else wrong, and you need to switch onto that as soon as you possibly can. To realise that generally the wings are always working well.
Yeah.
If something's wrong, then it's more likely yes, I've done it.
Yeah, because that's what they said when I first learned.
Yeah.
It's a sack of spuds to fly this. Yeah, but they don't think. We think that's the trouble. That's what it is.
So the links is now basically packed away unless it's a nice coastal site where you've got plenty of room and height and smooth. So what's your weapon of choice now?
At the moment, I'm in the winter. I'm flying the Punk still.
Yeah.
But I've got a base 2 light.
I've had a go on that. It's nice.
And that is really nice. Done my first black game one with that as well. With you as well, wasn't it?
It took you 5 years.
Yeah, but I've had 2 years. A bit of time. Give me a break. Give me a little chance. No, but yeah. So that's great. I just like that. That works with. I've got an XL2 harness with that bit of kit. I just love it. It just lightweight, comfortable. It does what I want it to do. I'm very comfortable on it.
I think that's one of probably the best moves. I mean, I know I've moved up to now on a 2-liner C after flying my Cure for 140 odd hours now, maybe more. But I think the best move out of all of them, other than going up to a sea level glider, is having lightweight gear. It makes it a pleasure to do that. If you do bomb out, it doesn't matter. So lightweight gear, you go for a nice walk back up to the top.
It's got me appreciating the top to bottoms more now.
Yeah.
I mean, since the accident, because I can take off and I can land, take off, land. I'll do that 10 times a day. With the lightweight gear, it doesn't feel so bad. Yeah. It doesn't feel such a drag, if that makes sense.
So you're not rushing your top landings because you don't want to walk back up. But has your accident also done that? You thought yourself, if I land at the bottom, it's in one piece.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Yeah.
It's changed my outlook, I must admit, in a good way,
Yeah.
because I would have been beating myself up if I landed down at the bottom again, because I think, well, hang on, I've been flying 5 years, why am I landing at the bottom? I shouldn't be landing at the bottom anymore. I should always be top landing. I should be up there with...
I think that's something that the beginners, including myself, come into the post-CP world expecting that, now I'm allowed to fly on my own. I shouldn't be doing top to bottoms anymore.
Well, I thought maybe I'd be doing it for maybe a month, and then I would have got it because I've been flying regular. Because the good thing about England, the weather's going to be perfect every weekend or every day I've got off to go flying to get a nice 12 mile an hour straight on the hill. Not many people there, like Devil's Dyke, nice and quiet, And that's what I expected. And I always expected to land back where I started from, unless I was going cross country. Yeah. It didn't seem to happen like that. It still doesn't now.
No.
That flight today ended up down the bottom in the end.
I think that's an important part to try and get through to the people that are just beginning it, is that your idea of reality is always going to change once you've been it long enough.
You can look, I ain't being funny, you can look, I've watched how many of them videos, I've watched the training, I still watch the training ones, Mark Leavesden, all that lot, they're all good.
Yeah.
They're all good. Your videos, enjoy your videos, because I'm in them sometimes.
You're the star most of the time, buddy, if you're there.
Yeah. Well, I try. But, you know, it's nice to watch and it's nice to learn, because I'm not the ex-Alps person, okay? I'd like to think I could do, but I think that's a little bit, do you know what? I enjoy what I do.
Yeah.
I enjoy, not the competition, apart from the BCC. I would do the BCC any weekend.
I'm going to always do that. I absolutely love it.
Because it's more social.
Yeah.
If you get a chance, if any beginners are listening, just get on that BCC. You know, you'll have a great time.
It will improve absolutely everything about how you paraglide with people, your cross-country ability, your communications, planning, and as I say, my favourite one. My favourite place for BCC is 100 House.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's great.
Even if it goes wrong and you go to the bottom, you land in the campsite. Land back in your tent or your van, have a kit, and then walk back up and have another go.
Yeah. Beautiful. I sat on the top of there all day, burning my head off.
No, I remember that one. And eventually you came down and landed next to me, like, I don't know why I wait so long.
Yeah. But it's a great difference. It's not just going to the hill, have a fly, get in the car and go home. You meet a lot of like-minded people. You meet people that are a lot better than you, but it's a lot worse as well. And you're sort of, this is okay. I don't feel so intimidated, because you can go to some hills and you can feel very intimidated.
Yeah.
They've all got D wings and this and that, and they're going off.
Everyone there is either they're for a few reasons. It's either the first time and they're looking for help and how to improve.
Yeah.
There's people that are in the middle. They've done it a few times. They're confident enough, but they're still trying to improve. And then we do encourage to have the more experienced people to come on, because they can help with the people that might even be red ribbons that we're trying to persuade to start going further afield, and for yourself. And I think one of the main things is that if everyone's taking off on a day that is set for the BCC, someone else has done the research, it's going to be a good day, you get large gaggles, several large gaggles, so you can fly together, and it just makes it so much easier.
My two best XCs have been with BCC.
All of mine have.
Yeah, that's
Every single time.
And I don't know if you're more relaxed, because I don't know, because everyone's there and you can look across and they're going that way and they're going down, I'm staying up, I'm carrying on. And yeah, I don't know, it's just amazing.
No, I absolutely love it. It's definitely something I would encourage everyone to get into. Even if you're not going for competition, it just does improve your ability to go out, go further afield, and you've got
It's a big confidence. It's a big confidence builder, and camaraderie. And I've met some really good friends now.
Yeah.
From it, I tell you what, if you're a lonely person, get into that.
Yeah.
You can as good as that way at the time. I think so. Anyway.
Yeah. No, I think it's really good. Very good.
And hopefully this year, gonna beat that 50k this time.
We'll get back to that. We'll see if he's actually done it.
I'm going to try. That's my thing for this year. And the main thing I'd like to do in the UK, one little thing, which one day it's going to happen. Don't know when, but I'm going to do it. Hopefully we'll do it, or several of us, or whatever. I need to go from Butter, and I need to get to Brighton, and I've got to land at Devil's Dyke. And just go, hello, how you doing, lads? I just really want to do that one.
Totally understand that one. I think the one thing that triggered that one for me is we went to Devil's Dyke, and RJ turned up. He
flew. That was the day Paul Chris done his.
Basically we packed up and got him back as soon as we could. But the fact that you went was it from Butts or Harting that you flew for a time?
I can't remember.
It's one or the other, but basically you managed to get all the way down there.
Yeah.
And it was like, no way.
I think it was Harting, because I think got the sea breeze front, didn't he?
Yeah, like we were packing up at the time we arrived. But yeah, that's been on my mind. Any other aims that you want to get done from paragliding? I'm not saying just this year, but is there anything else that you think that's in the tick box? It's got to be there.
Okay. One is definitely Coombe, this is local.
Yeah.
Coombe, it's not that far, it's near Swindon. We'll go Coombe and get down to the coast. If the conditions were right, I would love to make that crossing to the Isle of Wight. I would love that. That would make my day.
I think the Isle of Wight crossing's always been on my list from day one.
it's there, and you've got to be sensible. You've got to be reasonable height.
It's one of those ones that we've discussed enough times to know that where the shortest crossing is, where you want to
From
go.
Coombe you'll get across on that side, couldn't you? Rather than trying to get across from the Isle of Wight to South Sea, for argument's sake.
Every time I've looked at it, I think South Sea. From the mainland to the island, South Sea is your last thermal that you want to catch to get over.
Yeah.
And we discussed this at being 3,600 feet absolute minimum to make the beach.
Yeah.
Obviously, we want then 4,000 feet if we can to make it over. But the guys in the Isle of Wight do make it quite often from the island to the mainland. They've got, admittedly, smaller island to find thermals, but we know it's thermic. But they've got a lesser distance in the right conditions to cover on their bit of island.
We've got to make it front-hearted.
Yeah, we've actually got to do a long trip. I would be happy to cross the Ocean from either side. Ideally both, but yeah, that's the technical one as well.
That's one of them. Yeah.
So, for me, solo crossing. Love to make it down to Devil's Dyke. I would like to get from Whitewall down to Meon Shore.
And then do me on shore for the rest of the day.
If it switches at the right time, you can go down and you can start flying it. It's a very narrow corridor, and I've made it as far as Fareham. Yeah. And then I misread my instruments, which is why I put myself on the ground instead of carrying on. I think that's it. And the 100k is always there, but I'm not chasing it. I started chasing some cross countries early on in my career, and I was disappointed.
So I'd like to go there, but at the same time, I think that would probably be more if I was abroad somewhere, say, I don't know, Colombia or something, where it's quite straightforward, it's easy enough, but I think 4-5 hours, it loses my patience.
Yeah.
Personally.
You want to be enjoying the entire time.
I'd like to think I could do it, but I think I would get...
Maybe that's the lack of drive to be getting those things. I mean, I would like to do the 100k, and if I thought it was on, then I'd start pushing myself.
Okay.
But I think generally I'm losing the drive to make myself do those things, because if I fall short, I get extremely disappointed, and I don't want to do that anymore. This is my go-to nice place to just enjoy myself, and that's all I want. I just want to enjoy it.
Yeah, I think you're right. I just want to be able to go, well, I can go tomorrow. You know what I mean? If I haven't done 20k, if I've done 90, so what? So what? Come on. Do you know what I mean? I don't care anymore like that.
I mean, I've done plenty of XC just over the back of Whitewall. In
fact,
last time we went, I managed to drag you with me. We went through myself cross country. But yeah, it's a small one, but it's leaving the hill, and it's better than going backwards and forwards.
There's a Whitewall flop in it. But...
Yeah. Hey, we got a second thermal, so that's cross country.
Okay.
The horses weren't happy, and the horse lady wasn't happy.
She was,
but she did give us the lift back. She's a very nice lady.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just every day's an adventure. Not being funny every day. Low every day. Today,
So I think that's about it, isn't it? I think we've covered just about everything. Your whole flying career.
Pretty much, isn't it?
Yeah. So we've started from your training, CP, less than 5 hours Tenerife, going up through your wings from the Adam, BGD Epic, to your Punk. You're now on the second Punk, because the first one had an issue with materials, you had it replaced. You've still got the links. We've covered your accident.
Yeah.
Your recovery,
yeah,
you're back in it. You never in any state doubted yourself getting back into it, and you're still enjoying it, and you've got some aims for this year.
I'm enjoying it more.
Yeah.
To be brutally honest, I'm enjoying it more now.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that podcast, guys. There's quite a few things to take away from it, I think. If you liked this style podcast, then give us a thumbs up, maybe subscribe, put a comment in down below. Ones from here on can only get better. Obviously, I'm still learning with this new camera. We can find better lighting, we can find better sound, and we can try and improve these podcast ones. I strongly believe that there is something of value to take away from the regular pilots in our community. Until next time, guys, hopefully I'll see you in the air.